What's up, everybody? Welcome to the team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is another episode of Way Back Wednesday. And we're going to watch the 2015 TCG Autumn Regional Championship. I'm not sure exactly which city or regional this is, but we have a really good matchup. It's very interesting. It's going to be Night March versus Vespiquen. This is a big battle back in the day. It was like the battle of the single price decks, right? Even nowadays, like Night March is like everywhere, right? Well, now it's Mad Party, right? So now we have a Mad Party, which is pretty much a Night March variant, and Vespiquen pretty much does the same thing, but it's an evolution that does 20 plus 10 for each Pokemon in your discard pile. And we're going to see two fantastic players. We're going to see Christopher Neer and Dylan Bryan. Two really good players. I think Dylan was like number one for like a long time and like multiple back-to-back. And Chris Veneer is a very solid player from Canada. I'm pretty sure he still plays. I don't think Dylan plays anymore. If you see one of these players, just know that they're both fantastic guys. This is round number 12, and we're going to see how this matchup goes. It is a pretty interesting matchup. Like I said, it is a battle of the single prize. So there we go. And we're going to see Wobbuffet from Dylan. Going to have that Bide Barricade to shut down abilities on your opponent's left-hand side. Can kind of counter like your opponent's Shaymans and stuff like that, which is kind of what it's for. But I imagine it was mostly for Blastoise to shut down like Archestoise. So we see Double Unknown, Farewell Letter, can discard it, draw a card. We see an N, so you can play supporter cards on your first turn. And this format's been back in 2015. And there we go. We see the Night March with Pumpkaboo. Does 20 damage, times the amount of Pokemon in your discard pile that have Night March. And like I said, we have Mad Party that pretty much does the same thing. And we see the Vespiquen in Dylan's hand. They receive Battle Compressor, going to discard 3 cards out of their deck and out of his deck. And we're going to see both players playing this card, just trying to dump as many Pokemon and supporter cards in there. So they receive Flareon, so it is a Vespiquen Flareon variant. And they receive another Unknown, going to discard more Pokemon in there. And let's see what else Dylan puts in there. Now, both these decks don't really need to discard too much, right? Just because, like, both sides have low HP. They were seeing AZ going to Dylan's. Going to go ahead and discard that. Now, that's a really good card. You could pick up any Pokemon. Pick up like your Shaman so your opponent can knock them out. They receive a Combi come down and a Fire Energy attachment. They receive Acrobike. Look at top 2. Put one in your hand. Discard the other. Looks like they discard discard a Joltik, I think that was. Maybe a Trainer's Mail. Yeah. And then we see a Trainer's Mail. Look at top 4 cards. Maybe they already had a Trainer's Mail in their hand. And yeah, because there's the Joltik that he got. So he discarded the other Trainer's Mail. Already had Trainer's Mail in hand. They receive the Dimension Valley. Can make it where Psychic Pokemon need 1 less energy, colorless energy to attack, which means Pumpkaboo just needs a DC to attack. They receive a Battle Compressor, discarding 3. So already doing 60. Not enough to knock on the Wobbuffet. Oh, it is weak to Psychic, so we're good. Yeah, it's going to take a knock on the Wobbuffet if he can find a DC. And he already has D-Valley, so that's nice. And let's see, what does Chris have for us? We do see the DCE. We do have the D-Valley, Pumpkaboo, and we will see a Night March for the knockout, and a Hex. So the Hex is pretty crucial here. Hex makes it, it's actually a banned card now, but Hex makes it where any abilities do not work on your opponent's next turn. Right? Actually, it should sit down abilities to your opponent's next turn. See, they played this before you do your stuff. But now Dylan can't use his Unknowns. He can't use his Feral Letters to discard them and draw cards, which is a pretty big deal here. He can't use Shaymans. He does have the Vespiquen in hand. We do see an Eevee. That Eevee does have Energy Evolution. If you attach a energy type to it, you can search. You can evolve it to that certain type. So like you can attach a Fire Energy and find Flareon, which is pretty cool. So we see Kobe going to Vespiquen. I'm going to look at Chris's discard pile, see what's on there. Now, Vespiquen does have free retreat, so we see the retreat into the Unknown, and unfortunately, just see a pass. Now, on to Chris' turn, you see something very interesting. He has Shaman in the hand. Now, putting down Shaman is very risky because it has 2 prize cards, and you have to, like, think to yourself, like, do I want to give up 2 prize cards or not? Because that Pokemon can easily be knocked out next turn. And there we see a Battle Compressor discarding the Juniper, and really, you don't have to discard too many more Pokemon. Probably discard your Lampants, but I imagine they are prized, like the one is prized, and that's why he's not discarding it, right? Because these cards are pretty much useless because you have to evolve into them, and you're never going to tackle Lampent. So we see 5 Night Marches. Shaman going to set up for 4 here. Okay, so we do see a Shaman come down saying, hey, if you got the Boss Order, Lysander, Guzma, whatever you want to call it, bring it up. It is what it is. We see a Multispin to Joltik. And let's see. So I think Chris was like trying to debate, like, do I must ban the Shaman? Well, unfortunately, Unknown has 60 HP, not 50. And it looks like you see an Ultra Ball, discarding more stuff. Gonna grab a second Shaman. Now, the second Shaman here is kind of risky because now you're committing at least 4 EX prize cards on the field. So you see Shaman going to set up. But we'll see if it pays off for Chris. Going to see a town map. And I'm going to reveal his prize cards. So it looks like he does have a Pumpkin Boost still in the deck, maybe. Maybe. So we see a Lightning Energy again attached to that Joltik. Ooh, do we see a Spark? Probably not. So you see Pumpkin take a knockout. Going down to 4 prize cards. So it's 6-4. Dylan's got the Shaman. All right, so now we're going to have our battles start happening. And this is going to come down to probably an end war. Like, who can end and hurt their opponent the worst, right? So, see an Ultra Ball, discarding a Lysander, discarding a Jirachi. Jirachi's got the Stellar Wish ability. Let's search for a supporter card. Lysander's like a boss order. So, we see a fire, we see a DCE, we see a Life Dew. Now, the Life Dew is pretty incredible here. It makes it where your opponent takes 1 less prize card. And this is a really, really good thing in Dylan's deck. Because now if Chris knocks out this Flareon and this tool card stays attached to it, well, Chris doesn't take a prize card. So Chris has to either discard this tool card, which I don't think Chris plays like any kind of tool remover. He might, but I don't remember like too much back in this format. I don't know if Night March played tool cards back then, or tool removers. Or you have to boss around the Flareon. Now, the good thing about Dylan is, well, he end Chris. He end Chris to 4 cards after he grabs Shaman. There's already 2 Shamans on the field. And looks like we see an Ultra Ball, discard a Shaman, and an Ultra Ball. Gonna find another Combi here. And I imagine, Night March or Vengeance has enough to take a knockout. Vengeance does 20 plus 10 for each Pokemon in the discard pile. Okay, so we Joltik come up. We do have the DCE. There's a Joltik. Trainer's Mail, so there's VS Seeker. Now, is there a Lysander in this discard pile? That's the question. And if there's not, the Dylan looks like in a good spot, because if Chris can knock out the Shaman, take some quick prize cards, that'd be really nice. They receive Mew come down. We see DC to the Joltik. VS Seeker. Okay, grab a Juniper. Discard the Juniper. Grab 7 new cards. And we see some Acrobikes. We're going to see the retreat into the Joltik. See an Acrobike. Discarding a D-Valley. Trainer's Mill. Going to grab Life Dew of his own. So now Chris has his own Life Dew to counter. And basically saying, okay, now you got to knock out my Joltik with Life Dew. All right, so see Joltik taking a knockout, not taking a prize card. We see Vespiquen come down in chorus. Going to shuffle cards and shuffle his hand to deck and draw 8 new cards. That's pretty good there. Chorus will get a bunch of new cards. Now, does Dylan play a way to remove this tool? If not, well, Dylan's in the same boat. He can take a knockout, but not take a prize card, which is pretty good. We see Compressor, going to discard 3 cards out of his deck. But once again, I think we're in the same boat. I don't think Dylan plays any kind of tool remover. I could be wrong, but I don't think he does, right? We'll see what Dylan does. Looks like he discards an Eevee, Combi, and a Vespiquen. You can see he's keeping a bunch of Pokemon there, right there. See Feral Letter. Going to discard the Unknown, draw another card. Does he have a Flareon? We see DC going to a Shaman. So this is a really cool play because Shaman can do 30. Knock out Joltik, and you take a Shaman off the field because Sky Return does 30, and you return this card into your hand. So that's a pretty cool thing we'll see here. And let's see, I imagine Dylan will send up the Shaman, go for the Sky Return, knock out the Joltik, not take a prize card, and probably promote the Unknown. I imagine you want to save your other Pokemon for being knocked out. We do see an Audino coming down. Now, he could send up the Audino, right? Just saying, okay, you're not going to knock out one of my guys, right? I don't want you to knock out one of my attackers. So Audino is a good card to do that. Audino had a really cool ability, making it where, hey, you can heal 10 HP and remove special conditions. So that's pretty nice. We do see an Acrobike from Chris. Looks like he'll discard an Ultra Ball. And we see an Acrobike. Looks like he doesn't discard the D-Valley. Okay. Let's see what else he's got here. So we're going to see he only needs 1 energy with Versatile because D-Valley's out, so he can use Night March for 1 lightning energy. Now this is pretty good because it did get around special energies, and that's why you see this combo. We see Vespiquen being promoted. We do have a DCE, and this Mew is probably going to get knocked out. I imagine there's enough Pokemon in Dylan's discard pile, but we'll find out. Now there's 5 prize cards, 3, but the thing you see Dylan looking at is actually an Ante, which is like Rally Back, I think, right? So we see it Sycamore, discarding the hand. It's cool that you see one person playing Juniper and the other playing Sycamore. Compressor, going to discard more stuff that Dylan doesn't need or doesn't want to see. Now this Entei I think it's close combat. Man, I can't remember what that Entei does. And he gets 2 fire energies, that's all I remember. And Dylan's going to use Blacksmith to power it up. We do see an Ultra Ball going to get a Flareon out. So now Dylan has multitude of attackers, right? Got the Flareon, double Vespiquen, got the Entei, and we see Vespiquen taking a knockout. Going down to 3. It's 3-3 on prize cards right now. Chris looks like he's going to put a DCE, maybe, okay, Floatstone to the Shaman, DC to the Joltik, Mew comes down, Muscle Band, and we'll see a Night March for the knockout. Now, let's see what Dylan has here. What will he do? It is 3-2. Does Dylan have way? Maybe we can bring up with the bitch Pokemon. He can just wait and take a knockout on the active Joltik and then knock out one of the EXs for the game. We do see DC go to the Flareon. We see Combi come down. And let's see what Dylan decides to do. He does have a VS Seeker. Gonna look at Chris's discard pile to see what's all in there. Okay. And we're gonna see a VS Seeker. Probably grabbing the Life Sander. Go ahead and take a knockout on the Shaman. There we go. We see an egg. And we'll see a knockout. Now, you might be confused. Why did he drop the egg? Like, why do we drop the egg? Well, just in case Chris decides to end Dylan, right? Chris can end Dylan, put him at 1 card, and so Dylan wants to thin his deck out as much as possible, right? You want to discard everything in your hand and make it where, hey, if Chris takes a knockout, I'll be more likely to draw into a way to find the energy, and that's what we see Dylan do there. That's why he dropped the egg. So we do see the Mew come up. We do have the Lightning Energy, and I imagine, okay, nope, just going to take a knockout and Fire Energy, and there is the game. So Dylan will take game number 1. Like I said, Dylan was get prepared, going to get ready for that end play. Now, the big difference between this matchup right now is we notice that Chris, he actually played more EX Pokemon down, right? But he kind of has to because he really only has like 8 attackers, and there's the good old Puka and Jaywitz. I don't know what they're talking about right now. But that's kind of a big deal because he only has 8 attackers, right? So it's a little bit less than, I don't know, it's probably the same amount as Dylan has. So, but the big difference between these two decks is the Night March has to discard Night March Pokemon, while Vespiquen just wants Pokemon discard pile. So that's the big thing there. So Dylan can discard non-attackers, while Chris has to discard attackers to do damage. But like I said, you really don't have to discard that many Pokemon. And I think it was just unfortunate draws. We've seen Ultra Ball discarding a Life Sander and a Juniper. Let's see. Looks like you can grab a Shaman here. Okay, gonna start using that setup. Gonna draw. Do you have 6 cards in your hand? Now, I think one way that Chris could be in a really good spot, if he could chain Hex Maniacs, that could be a big deal. We see Shaman going to get 4 cards. He does have a Lightning Energy. He can attach to the Shaman. And it's going to attach a DC to the Shaman. Now, what this does, we could Sky Return, knock out the Combi next turn. That could be really nice. And we see Juniper just going to discard the hand, draw 7 new cards. Looks like he discarded 2 Lightning Energies and nothing else really significant outside of that. We see Pumpkaboo come down. And I don't think we can attack turn 1. Pretty sure we can't attack turn 1. See a Trainer's Mill. If you're curious, Trainer's Mill, let's see, look at top 4 cards of your deck, put a trainer card into your hand. So we see the Battle Compressor coming in there. Once again, going to discard some Night March Pokemon. Going to discard the Lampent, Joltik, and another Joltik. So double Joltik being discarded. This is a really good play. It makes it where Dylan can't Sky Return your Pokemon because Pumpkaboo does have 60 HP, which can't be Sky Returned. We see a Compressor from Dylan. Looks like he's going to discard the Wobbuffet, the Mr. Mime, and the Jirachi, saying, you know, okay, maybe we need the Jirachi. Maybe we'll save the Jirachi, right? Jirachi could be useful, right? So we see N being discarded here. DC's Combi. And VS Seeker for N. Going to put Chris to a fresh new hand of 6. But that's actually a really good play because now, Dylan didn't know what Chris had. But Chris, was thinning his hand and doing stuff correctly. And he probably maybe had like a boss order, break up the Combi, take a knockout Sky Return. And wow, triple unknown, like just dropping him like it's nothing, right? We're going to drop triple unknown, set up, draw to have 6 cards in our hand. And see Feral Letter discard the unknown, Feral Letter discard the unknown. We see Ultra Ball discarding double fire, probably finding an Eevee. Okay, so we got Combi and Eevee. So he does have an attacker, like regardless next turn. And we see another Combi come down, so that's really nice. And we see a pass on to Chris's turn. Now let's see what Chris decides to do here. Looks like the Flowstone will go on the Shaman. Looks like we could maybe go for, we got VS Seeker. So we could VS Seeker, or Battle Compressor. We got VS Seeker. Okay, Lyson is already in there. Going to bring up the Combi with the DCE. And now we can see a Sky Return for 50, taking a knockout, bringing up Pumpkaboo, and putting Dylan in a very interesting spot because now he has no DC in the field. We see Unknown twice. discarding those. He does it really quick, but that's what he's doing. We see Compressor discarding Egg. It's got the propagation ability. And put it back into your hand. Jirachi to find a supporter card. And Blacksmith. We see a DCE, Life Dew, Juniper, discard the hand, draw 7 new cards. There we see a Vespiquen, Flareon, Eevee, and what card was that? And a Compressor. Dylan's playing so fast. It's 2 times speed, but man, he's playing so fast. Alright, so let's see. Discard the Lysander, saying no, I need that for Via Seeker. Discard a Vespiquen, and another Vespiquen, okay. And now Dylan's in the spot again where he can take a knockout, and then Chris, we see Town Map as well. So you can see his prize cards, see 2 Combi, 2 Flareons, a Via Seeker, and an Ultra Ball. Now this is really good information because Chris kind of knows what's, he has a lot of attackers prized. We see Combi going to Sam. We see Muscle Band to the Pumpkaboo. We see Acrobike. Going to discard the Trainer's Mill, okay. Let's see. We see an Ultra Ball discarding a Battle Compressor and an Ultra Ball. See a Pumpkaboo, okay. Now, we could opt to boss order, like the Shaman up and take a knockout. If we have another Pokemon, they receive Trainer's Mill. It's got the Via Seeker, and he's got Life Dew, but I think Via Seeker is probably the better play. Knock out the Shaman while you can. Take 2 prize cards. Going down to 3, I think is probably an optimal play here, but we'll see what Chris decides to do. Does have Via Seeker, and most likely going to go for that Lysander, bring up that Shaman, and just take a knockout on it while you can. We see Shaman going to set up some more cards. Go to Acrobike, get into the Pumpkaboo down. See the Pumpkaboo come. Oh, so we're actually going to take a knockout, not take a prize card. Okay. See Via Seeker for Blacksmith. Going to attach 2 fire energies from discard to one of your Pokemon. I think it's 20 your Pokemon. I don't think it has to be fire. If it is, but I think it's maybe it is 20 your Pokemon. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played Blacksmith. And we see the Avengers taking a knockout. Dylan will go down to 4. Chris's turn, got the DCE, got the Hex, and we take a knockout. Now, Dylan can't use any abilities on his side because he has been hexed. See Flareon, we see a DC attachment and a Chorus. So Dylan, he has to find a Vespiquen off these 6 cards, and he does. So we see Combi, we see Eevee, Vespiquen. We see a Compressor, discarding more stuff out of his deck. Looks like he discarded an Ultra Ball, Enhanced Hammer, and an Eevee. Okay. And we'll see Dylan take a knockout, go down to 3. Pumpkaboo comes up. Town Map, going to reveal those prize cards as well. Wow, that's 3 Lampets. My goodness. All right, Joltik. Let's see. Mew, Shaman, drawn 4. We do see the DC at hand. And looks like we're going to go for another Hex here. Going to try to stop Dylan from playing cards. Okay. So Hex is out. Dylan can't use any abilities right now. Let's see what Dylan does here. Sends up Entei. He's got Via Seeker, which can get Blacksmith. And can attack with that Entei. I apologize. I don't know what that Entei does. I forget. It's been a long time since I've seen this Entei. I think it's like Rally Back or something. I don't know. But takes a knockout, goes out of 2. Let's see if Chris... Okay, there it is. Combat Blade. That was way off. It does 20 and the 20 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So there we go. Okay, going to promote the Shaman with the Flowstone. It's got for retreat. Now, Chris does have the Life Dew. Put the Life Dew on the Mew Via Seeker. And do we see it in? No, going to see Juniper. Chris has to find that DCE this turn. So let's see, does Chris find that DCE? And he does find the DCE. Another Joltik will come down as well. Lightning Energy, which means he just needs 1 energy. I forgot the D-value is in place, but he needs 1 energy attack with that Joltik. And now that Mew is only worth 1 prize card. So once again, Dylan's in a spot. If he can somehow discard this tool card, he can win the game this turn if he finds a DC or tool mover, or if he finds a DC and a Lysander, he can knock out one of these Shamans. So Chris actually went for the play of like, hey, I'm going to try to... Okay, so there we go. Looks like Dylan did whiff. Looks like Chris went for the play of like, hey, I'm going to knock out all your attackers and make it where you can't attack me. And that's what won Chris that game. It ran Dylan out of attackers. And this was going to happen sometimes. We saw a bunch of attackers being prized. And we're going to game number 3. Oh, man. Let's see what happens now. It is interesting to note if Dylan does go first, which imagine he will go first. Chris could take the first knockout. So we see the, oh my goodness. See the Combi start, Pumpkaboo, Juniper, discard the hand, discarding a bunch of Pokemon. Unknown comes down, Fire Energy to Combi. We'll see a Feral Letter discarding, so he does have a DC next turn. It would see a pass. That was really fast with Dylan's turn. So Muscle Bait to the active. Juniper, discarding Floatstone, Lampent, something else. I can't really see what it was. D Valley does come down. We do okay, so one Pokemon in there, so it just needs to discard one more. There's a Joltik, Pumpkaboo, Shaman, drawn 4. And there's a town map. Gonna reveal his prize cards. Okay. Alright. And he does have Acrobat. Okay. Oh, get discard the Lampent. Beautiful. So now he can take a knockout, own that Combi, take the first prize card, which is really, really strong in the mirror match. Discard Lightning Energy. And he can grab a VS Seeker for next turn too, which is great for Chris. Oh, gonna grab a DC, saying, hey, I need a way to attack next turn, right? So DC to Vespiquen, Shaman for 2, NN, gonna put Chris at 5. Dylan to 6. Now, I think Dylan discarded a couple Vespiquen there. I could be incorrect, but I think he did discard. I saw some green cards go in there, so it makes me think that he discarded some Vespiquens. I could be wrong, but we'll find out. I definitely see a Vespiquen right there, so. Sea Compressor, discarding the Mr. Mime, saying, hey, I don't need this card. This is really good against Landorus. Landorus could snipe your bench. Jirachi being discarded as well. And saying, hey, I don't need to search for supporter cards. I already have plenty of supporter cards. And Unknown with the Feral Letter. Okay. So at this point, Vespiquen definitely does have enough knockout, right? So Unknown, Feral Letter, discard. And wow, the Dylan Whiff. It looks like Dylan Whiff here. So Unknown, or Wobbuffet will come down. Retreat the fire, send up Wobbuffet, saying, hey, you can't use abilities on your side now unless they're psychic Pokemon. That's what Bide Barricade does. Compressor. Let's see what Chris discards here. So he's not going to see a Lampent, Lysander, and 2 Lampents and a Lysander. Okay. All right. And let's see, does Chris have a way to bring up the Shaman for knockout this turn? It doesn't look like it. Looks like we'll see a Hex. And yeah, we'll see a Night March. Getting that VS Seeker. Dylan's in a very tough spot now. So DC to the Shaman. Yeah, I mean, he really doesn't have anything in his hand. He's got a DCE. He's got a Juniper at least, or Sycamore. Going to discard the hand, draw 7 new cards. And it looks like, once again, Dylan is whiffed the Vespiquen. Wow. Eevee comes down, Battle Compressor. Oh, man. So, yeah, there's 3 Vespiquens in Dylan's discard pile. Wow. So, Compressor, discard 2 Combis. Saying, hey, I only have 1 Vespiquen left anyway, so really no need for that. And they receive a Blacksmith. Wow, yeah, 3 Vespiquens. I knew I saw some green Pokemon going there, but 3? That's insane. Oh, man, you hate to see this. So, sees Dylan discarded 3. We see the Audino come down. And saying, did I play this? I attached the DC. That's what we're saying. Yeah, I attached DC this turn. We could see a Sky Return for 30. And I think that's what we're going to see here. Yeah, Sky Return for 30. Send in the Audino. It's a, don't worry, you lose one of my attackers. And on to Chris's turn, he can go for another Hex here. Pretty much shutting down Dylan once again. We're going to go for the Lysander. Bring up the Eevee. Just taking out another attacker. Ultra Ball, discarding Pumpkaboo, and a D-Valley. Going to grab another Shaman here. And things are not looking good for Dylan at all. So Shaman is going to draw 4 new cards. Let's see what Chris decides to do. He can attach this turn if he wants to. He has definitely been attacking with this Pumpkaboo, so he can literally attach the second DCE, which is something you really don't see too much, but wants to opt not to do that just in case Dylan does play like Enhanced Hammerings, which we know he does. So Duke, 2 Battle Compressor and 2 VS Seekers. Wow. All right, so DCE to the Audino. We're going to see a hit bump for 30. Wow. All right, it says, hey, if the defending Pokemon's getting knocked down. So Shaman going to draw a couple cards. And looks like he drew into a Flareon. Well, unfortunately, he can't play the Flareon because the Eevee got knocked out. Going to AZ, pick up the Shaman, saying, hey, you're not going to get those 2 prize cards off me, buddy. Nuh-uh, not today. Eevee will come down. Okay, we're going to see a Shaman, actually. Going to set up, draw 2, maybe? We'll see the option, too. He can Shaman as multiple times as he wants to. And nope, but you're going to see a hit bump. Dino just took a hit bump knockout. That's crazy. I think they were discussing a defending Pokemon, but there is no defending Pokemon because the defending Pokemon got knocked out. So I think that's what they're talking about. So yeah, the defending Pokemon tries attack, right? But there's no defending Pokemon. So if it was a defending player, then that would be different, right? Or the defending opponent. But it's not. It's a Pokemon. So that Pokemon's knocked out. So that's a big thing there. Compressor discarding some more stuff that we just don't care about. Dylan's counting Pokemon in the discard pile is pretty good amount. There's pretty good amount in there. Trainer's Mail looks like he's gonna grab an Escape Rope. Now, Escape Rope is a really big deal here because Dylan will have to opt into bring up the Combi or the Eevee. So we'll see DC here. Okay, so maybe we don't see an Escape Rope. It's gonna Night March, take a knockout, go down to 2. Dylan's at 5. Chris is at 2. Let's see what happens. Eevee will come up. Let's see Flareon. And let's see what Dylan decides to do here. Now, he does have N. So is he DC to the Flareon? Looks like he's going to count any VS Seekers and Boss Orders and stuff like that. Let's go see a VS Seeker for N. Going to play the N. Put Chris at 2 cards. Now, Dylan count, he counted how many VS Seekers are in there, how many Lysanders are in there. And these are very important numbers to count to see, hey, am I safe to drop a Shaman? Like, is a Shaman technically safe? And Dylan said, nah, it's not safe. All right, so 5 and 2. And now the interesting thing is, okay, so we do see E-Hammer. So we saw that Chris had an E-Hammer in his hand, right? He could, well, no. He attached a Pumpkin with last turn, so never mind. Disregard that. Chris is being smart and not dropping Enhanced Hammers because Dylan does play DCEs. So we see Ultra Ball discarding Egg and a Flareon. Can grab a Vespiquen here. All right, so let's see. Gonna go for Unknown. Gonna go for that Feral Letter. Just trying to dig deeper into the deck. Trying to draw as many cards as you can this turn. I imagine that's what we'll see. We'll see the Unknown come down. Probably using Feral Letter, drawing a card. Okay, I think you want to go ahead and use it just in case, like, Chris goes for, like, a Hex or something. So there we go. Going to draw a card. Did he draw the Vespiquen? Oh, my goodness. I think he drew the Vespiquen off that Unknown. All right, so see, taking a knockout, got out of 4. I think he grabbed a VS Seeker. And I think time is called. You see, they're announcing time is called. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Which, I mean, Chris is going to... If Chris doesn't take a knockout this turn, and then the next turn to win the game, while Dylan has to take 2 EX knockouts to win the game. And I think that's what they were discussing right there. Trainers look at top 4. Looks like we might see a Hex being played. And yep, there's a Hex Maniac. Okay. So 2 to 4 prize cards. It is now time. And the way Pokemon works is, hey, you have to take all prize cards or the game is a tie. So we see we're going to play the Hex on a Dylan's turn. Let's see what Dylan decides to do here. Looks like he's eyeballing a Lysander. Okay, maybe we'll see what he does here. He is Hex, so you can't use Shamans or anything like that. Going to VS Seeker for Lysander, bring up a Shaman. Oh, man. So he's going to take a knock. Okay, DC to the Vespiquen, just in case there's an N. Taking a knockout, going down to 2 prize cards. What does Chris do here? And Chris just passes. So let's see what Dylan does here. We see he does have triple Battle Compressor. And you see he's, okay, going to discard the Sycamore. Battle Compressor again. Discarding 3 more. Ultra Ball to grab Shaman. Shaman for setup. And going to get the VS Seeker for game to come back and take the game against Chris. Oh my goodness. That is insane. Dylan was down pretty much all of his Vespiquens, right? Didn't have anything to really attack with. And then I think this was a game of just like, hey, I'm going to end you. See if it sticks. And that's what happened. That's how strong N was back in the day, right? Just saying, hey, you can't do anything. If Chris were to find like one more Hex Maniac, right? He could have at least tied the game, right? If Chris were to find like, a Juniper, he could have, or a VS Seeker, he could have maybe, discard the sand, found a DC or something. But no, Dylan was able to play the end, stick Chris to 2 cards that were not playable, and was able to take 4 prize cards back to back, thanks to Lysander and stuff like that. So there we go. It's a very exciting game of Night March versus Vespiquen. Hope you had a lot of fun enjoying that video. It's really cool to see just 2 single prize decks battling out. and two of the big names for sure, like very, very big names back then, right? And player-wise too, congratulations to both players. They are very, very good. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Having fun watching some 2015. Good old Night March versus Vespiquen. It's a lot of fun watching that. And yeah, see you tomorrow for Expanded Thursday. Alrighty, bye.